Finally tonight, Far From Home. That's the title of Alaska Republican Senator Murkowski's new book, out tomorrow. It's a heartfelt portrayal about why she got into politics in the first place and just how far away and different Washington feels from her home state of Alaska. And she's not afraid to speak out against President Trump, but would she ever consider leaving her party? Here's what she had to say as our conversation continues. Why now? Why did you decide you wanted to write this book? And what do you hope ultimately is the takeaway from readers?
Well, I didn't decide to write this a year ago. I didn't decide to write it 2 years ago. It was kind of pushed on me after the 2010 write-in campaign, where people said, that was something unusual. That was outside the norm. That was historic in many ways. It hadn't been done since Strom Thurmond back in 1954.
You talk at one point in the book about being grounded by Alaskans, and you say that you have visited a number of villages that are 500 miles away from the closest road connection, thousands of miles away from Washington, D.C. How do you feel that Alaska and the values there differ from many in mainland America?
Well, it may be in other parts of rural America as well that you have this sense. But when I'm back in Alaska, when I'm out in a remote village, people don't call me Senator Murkowski. They call me Lisa. They know that I've been to their village before. They know that I'm helping them get water and sewer. They know that I'm trying to make sure that they have a shelter for women in the village that may need a safe place to go. There is a kind of a view, I guess, that it's not so much your title. It's how can you help us solve some of the problems that we have?
In your book, you say, I never sought the role that came to me, so often standing up to the extremes, including against President Trump, who tried to defeat my election, but I didn't shy away from it when that was my job. You're one of really just a handful, even if that, of Republicans who do stand up and criticize Donald Trump. And I'm curious, what makes you unique in that way? What is it about you that you don't have that, potentially we'll call it fear, that many of your Republican colleagues have?
Well, and I guess to dial it back a little bit, it's not that this is being directed at President Trump, like I want to poke a finger in the eye or demonstrate that I'm, standing up to him. No, it's when there is something that needs to be said, and it needs to be said. I feel like that's what Alaskans are asking me to do, is to call it out for what it is. And sometimes that's hard, because I do want to work with this president and with this administration, just as I want to work with every president and their administration, because that's my job. Sometimes it's harder, but it's also something where I have to be true to myself, and I have to weigh in where I feel that I need to weigh in.
When was the last time you spoke with President Trump?
Within the past month.
And you're able to have amicable conversation,
yes.
Constructive, productive?
Yes.
You've talked before about whether the Republican Party is the right place for you. Is there a line in your mind? Is there a point at which you say, I'm out of politics, or maybe I'm an independent? Is there a point that's defined for you?
I don't know that there's any clear point. There's no red line. I outline in the book, and you highlighted it too. My values are pretty solid values, and they're values that identify me with Republican Party values. or Republican values, maybe not Republican Party
Sure.
values, but Republican
There's
values.
a distinction.
You know, smaller government, strong national defense, individual freedoms and personal responsibility. And so whether there's an R next to my name or an I next to my name or nothing next to my name, which was what happened in the write-in, my values don't change.
There's a point where I just want to quote you. You said in April, you're oftentimes very anxious about using your voice because retaliation is real, and that's not right. Are there times when you are afraid or have any anxiety about making a decision that might be contrary to the party, that you worry about your own physical safety, as we've seen in recent weeks in particular, an uptick in violence? Of course, that's before you even talk about Minnesota.
And in truth, when it comes to physical safety, that was not necessarily my point of reference when I made that statement. It was more retaliation in the sense of political retaliation. So, you know, are you going to be called a bad name? Are you going to is a political initiative, a legislative initiative that you've been working on? Are they going to try to pull the rug out from underneath that? But in today's world, unfortunately, the threat to physical safety is very real, and it's been exceptionally tragic in recent weeks with what we saw in Minnesota.
Senator Murkowski, we thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Linsey.